order. Anything special, anything to add to the agenda, or is the agenda good?
Agenda's good.
Okay, then we'll move on to approval of minutes. The minutes are from February 15th, 2024. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Any changes, additions?
I didn't see any.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Public comments. Okay. Then on to new business. Site plan approval for Cronkite Vault Industrial Avenue. Brandon?
Thank you, Chair. In April of last year, the Planning Commission approved the site plan for Cronkite Vault for a new building to the east of their current facility. Due to the easement for the high voltage transmission lines, Consumers Energy will not allow the building to stay where it's currently at. It will need to move to the east of the easement, completely out of it. In order to accomplish this, the city is giving the additional roughly 40 feet in width and 150 feet in depth, an additional room to allow the building to be moved to meet the setbacks. The building is gonna stay the same, it's 40 feet by 60 foot steel building, that would be used for a new pet cremation service. As I mentioned, all the specifications for the building are the same. It's about 2,400 square feet. The new site plan meets the zoning ordinance for setbacks, building height, parking, as well as land use for industrial zoning. The ordinance states they must have one parking space for each employee at its largest shift. They will only have one or two employees at a given time, and the 4 parking spaces they're proposing will meet the ordinance. You will need to have a public hearing on this item before taking action on the site plan. The staff opinion is that the site meets the conditions of the ordinance and recommend your approval. The final project will continue to be a good benefit to the community. In your packet is the criteria for the planning commission in making your decision, and it's taken from section 152.10 of the zoning code.
Okay. You have to make a motion to go into public, or,
Yeah, that's probably good for
okay. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
Move to a public hearing.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. So we're in public hearing. Any public comments? Okay, do I have a motion to go out of?
I'll move to all.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so action on site plan. The site plan review checklist has been met. Brandon read out to you. So then in the site plan review, and you have the 3 copies, Brandon, that you needed? You have all copies?
best you go through the criteria of the review and answer each of those questions. I think so, it's in italics in the report. There's 7 items. It's right in the paper. Sorry, that you have.
This one?
Yeah.
I know there's, that's what I was looking for, was right there.
The actual approval of that one has the agenda attached to it.
There we go. Sorry. Okay, so, start starting with number one, that there is proper relationship between the existing street and highways within the vicinity of proposed acceleration lane, entrances, exit driveways, parking areas to ensure the safety and convenience of pedestrians and vehicular traffic. Being in the industrial park, I don't believe there's any sidewalks back there to consider. It's just in egress and ingress for getting vehicles in and out. It's not a high traffic area, it's down towards the end of the cul-de-sac there, from the, so I don't see any concerns with that. Any concerns from the committee? Two, that the building and structures proposed be located upon the premises are so situated as to minimize adverse effects upon owner and occupants of adjacent properties. Since Luke is the only one next door, I don't see an issue with that one. It's just an addition to his business. Actually, I guess it is a separate business, but.
Yeah, it will be, actually.
That as many natural features of the landscape shall be retained as possible, where they furnish a barrier buffer between the project and the adjoining properties. Adjoining properties are farmland and concrete vault company. Any concerns, comments? That any adverse effects of the proposed development and activities emanating therefore from which affect adjoining residents or owners shall be minimized by appropriate screening, fencing, landscaping. I don't see any requirements for that since it's farmland and existing commercial. Comments? Concerns? Okay, I'm gonna keep reading, so if you have something, tell me. Layout of building improvements will minimize any harmful or adverse effects which the development might otherwise have upon the surrounding neighborhood. There's nothing that comes out of there that goes on the ground and it's all taken care of, so no, nothing there. All provisions of the zoning ordinance are complied with. This would preclude the application from applying for an appropriate variance within the zoning board. All that has been taken care of with the existing that we've already done. Plans and designs of the facility properly contain or dispose of stormwater shall be approved by the planning commission based on review and recommendations by a licensed engineer. And that was already done on the previous one, but as far as the water detention and where it comes to. Okay. So, any comments, any questions, any concerns? Do I have an approval to approve the site plan for Cronkite Vault, 375 Industrial Avenue? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, thank you very much. Anything for us? Thanks. Okay, next, site plan approval for 315 East Railroad Street.
Thank you, Chair. The owners of 315 East Railroad have submitted plans to add an additional storage unit building to the property. Currently, there's a smaller building with 13 units. The new building would have 30 storage units. The building would be 30 feet by 150 feet for a total of 4,500 square feet. Property is currently zoned industrial, the property to the east being zoned R2. There's one parcel to the east, Collins Park. Proposed building meets the required setbacks and all other zoning provisions. As with the previous storage facility approved in February, they are proposing a gravel drive as well. And the zoning ordinance, as you remember, is unclear as to what type of surface. Did you mention there was no lighting proposed?
There's no lighting on the new building, there is lighting on the original building, so. But yeah, I don't let you get those.
No outside, no outside lights, no.
Just like we heard.
Yeah.
There's an existing fence that they're planning to remove. You can, as under, I think it's item 7 of the criteria for review that you just went through, got the storm calculations to our engineer and he'll have to review. So any approval we get contingent upon that making stormwater calculations. And then they're doing some modifications to the exterior, actually interior of the building, correct?
On the original building, we plan on redoing the outside. It looks pretty dilapidated. I'm gonna cut out the concrete on the old one and put some new concrete in, and then we plan on painting it to match the new building. So we're gonna redo the roof and the outside to make everything match. So,
And we did talk about attaching it, but we did not do that because the existing, or get it on the property.
yeah, so.
You didn't want to go with the drift?
No, we're just gonna put a new one and let the old one sit there.
Make it occur.
Yeah. So,
Creative construction.
yeah, I have plans for the building. Originally I was gonna build a bigger one. It's just, it costs too much. And that's what he has right there. So this is, I'm in the process of getting that drawn, but that's what it'll look like. There'll be 15 units on the side, per side. I'm building with a center wall that can be moved, so you can either get a 10 by 30, 10 by 10, or 10 by 20. So the universal each bay,
And these will not be here.
and those will not be there, so I removed those, so it's just gonna be 15 bays, going down the sides with a circle drive, so. So that's exactly how it'll be built, the guy that's building it, here's my builder.
Placing the interchangeable in the materials. the walls.
Yeah, this is, these, we can bolt these, we can move them, so you can slide here, make a 10 by 10, if someone wants a 10 by 20, that way I can fit everyone's needs, so.
No, it doesn't. It's gotta be, it better be 14 foot tall, so I can stuff my camper.
Perfect.
Well,
We'll put one in
Yeah,
with approval.
and, you know, I did have on here like a future building, which I'm gonna figure out, see how fast this fills in, and my goal is to someday put another building here, and maybe another building here, or leave this out here for like outdoor parking for people, like campers or mowers or something, but I just have, I don't know the need down here. So I own one in Concord, and this is my second one, so, you know, big wrestling fan, so I knew Bronson from wrestling.
There you go.
So I was driving around one day and I found that property and now here I am, so,
Okay,
so.
so.
Big plan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's
A
all
lot
right.
of white space.
I don't think
Yeah.
she's.
Well, they like that because it makes them look more impressive.
Right.
Looks like we're really doing.
Okay, so, on to review. So again, proper relationship between the existing street and highway within the vicinity. Kind of quiet back area. I really don't see where it's gonna add that much more traffic with those units in there. Building and structures proposed to be located upon premises or so situated as to minimize adverse effect upon owners and occupants. I think it's gonna look much better with the new building there than it does with the fence and the overgrowth.
And we'll mow. I heard that was an issue in the past.
Well, and my goal too is like, once I get this thing going, I'm down here working, I'm gonna put some surveillance on this building. Because I empower this building, because like, people just, it looks like condemned kind of. So like, I literally have to come down twice, like, people just put free stuff within them, like the cop calls.
Yeah.
It's free trash. is what
Yeah,
it really
but
is.
anyways, go ahead, I'm not interrupting.
That as many natural features of the landscape shall be retained as possible where they furnish a barrier or buffer between the project and adjoining properties used for dissimilar purposes. With it being business on the west side, park on the right side. Is there space for any residential, being R2, isn't that where you can build like a condo or
water pump factory right now, right?
Oh, it is a parcel next to it, yeah, it's being used commercially right now. It's still zoned R2, but that's what the use is right now there.
This is a pole barn.
Yeah, but being R2,
Yeah.
somebody could buy it, tear it down, could
Put
put
a house.
in,
Right.
can't do a single family, but you could do multi-family.
Multi-unit.
Oh, gotcha.
I think you can still do single family, but it allows you to do medium density, which I believe is like your duplexes and things like that.
But currently, it's fine. Layout of building and improvements will minimize any harmful or adverse effects, which the development might otherwise have on surrounding neighborhood. I believe it's going to improve the appearance and the look back there. All provisions of the zoning ordinance are complied with, and that, the only thing we need is the storm calculations from the engineer just to verify that those are correct.
Yes.
Anything else on that? Or is everything else good on the plans?
The other things were, they did remove the future building, because that was not gonna meet the setback. And there is a 10 feet gap between the two buildings. You can't have two structures, accessory structures next to each other like that without an approved firewall or at least 10 feet in between.
And he's got the 10 feet,
Yes.
Or if I was at 5 feet, I could drywall it on the inside.
2 layers each side, each
Okay.
building.
Gotcha.
Your
Well, I'm
engineer,
doing 10 feet.
your engineer has to tell you that, I can't tell you
Yeah,
that.
he told me that. He did tell me, he was like, well, you can do 5 feet, you just gotta put drywall up. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh.
2 layers, 5/8 side panels.
And the scrap drying rock is thrown in high on dirt.
Yeah.
Drywall doesn't burn well. Plans and designs of facilities to properly contain or dispose of stormwater shall be approved by the, and we're already working on that, so that'll be a condition once we get the approval from the engineer.
And the engineer, when I came down here, did tell me that the pond is big enough. It's just, he put a couple
The
numbers wrong.
calculations were.
Okay.
So,
Any questions, any comments? Do I have an approval? Someone to make a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
And our motion will be contingent upon the stormwater calculations being correct on the plans. The only other thing to discuss is the gravel versus asphalt. Honestly, my opinion is, if you asphalt it, you have to deal with a lot more stormwater and where it's going to run and where it's going to dissipate to. If you do gravel, it's going into the ground, it's not gonna run into your neighbors, it's not gonna overflow the pond, it's not gonna create other issues. But again, in my opinion, any comments, any questions?
I agree, that it's the best way to go for drainage and everything else.
Okay,
Cost.
And budget
I
friendly.
think
Yeah,
it's
you
so
have a bunch of
expensive.
people driving through there all the time.
No, the people in Concord, I have one person that's been there 22 years. That's how long she's like been there. Like, you never see anybody there. It's weird.
Well, the past owners own 6 of the units themselves.
Not anymore.
They did though.
Yeah. But
so I have a motion, do I have a second?
I support it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Do I have a motion to move out of public hearing? Should have already first, but do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay.
thank you.
Thank you
Got a
guys.
few things to wait on there. Good luck.
Yep.
And Brandon, you'll have to give me a sign, one of these signs, right?
Yeah, I can sign it once
Good.
engineer
Yeah,
signs
so
it.
you wanna keep these 3 then?
Yeah,
And then,
I'll
We'll
stamp
talk.
one for you and one for us.
yeah.
And the other will be
So
on
when
file.
is Ray's at the start then, so?
Well, we'll get this done, I don't know, I gotta do site work, random site work. There, soil erosion.
I guess you're ready to put.
Thank you very much.
On the next sleeve right here.
Slave driver?
That's these about, go ahead and move by, so you're out of the way.
Yeah.
You guys have hotels down here?
No.
Here it is.
Oh.
No, they'll be there.
Do
No. Well, you'll
I
figure
built
out.
one in 2 days in Illinois. The whole site ready to go for 72 buildings. That was a long run. But, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Will you, Shell, do you need that?
That's all right. Thank you.
Yes, nice meeting you all.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else to discuss while we're here? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, yes.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all very, very much.
I will point out that